On May 1st, a California grand jury issued a second superseding indictment against Chicago-based rapper Lil Durk, legally known as Durk Banks, introducing a new charge of stalking resulting in death tied to the August 2022 passing of Wando's cousin. This charge joins an existing array of serious accusations, including one count of using interstate facilities to commit murder for hire resulting in death, one count of conspiracy, and one count of using, carrying, and discharging firearms, as well as possession of such firearms in furtherance of a crime resulting in death. In a significant shift, the prosecution removed all references to Durk's song lyrics, which had been a central element of the first superseding indictment. This change has dismantled the foundation of Durk's defense strategy, which relied heavily on First Amendment protections for artistic expression. Durk's attorney, Drew, has called the charges baseless, arguing that the lyric evidence was the prosecution's primary leverage and its removal underscores the weakness of their case. However, the addition of the stalking charge has escalated the stakes, complicating Durk's path to freedom. The case's origins trace back to an initial indictment that did not explicitly name Durk, but identified other individuals alongside an unindicted person. 3 weeks later, the first superseding indictment named Durk as the previously unnamed individual, introducing a single new fact, a video allegedly celebrating and monetizing the crime tied to lyrics in his music. Drew emphasized that this video was the only substantive addition and its relevance was questionable. After consulting with music industry insiders, ranging from studio engineers to high-level executives, Drew's team determined that the songs in question were recorded well before the alleged crimes, rendering them irrelevant as evidence. This discovery fueled their defense, which centered on the argument that Durk's lyrics were protected speech under the First Amendment, a position bolstered by precedents in other genres where violent themes did not lead to criminal liability. The second superseding indictment, however, has upended this strategy. By removing lyric-related allegations and dropping claims about a bounty payment, the prosecution has shifted focus to the new stalking charge and other evidence. Drew contends that this pivot reflects the fragility of the original case, which leaned heavily on misinterpreted artistic expression. Yet the stalking charge introduces a new layer of complexity, alleging Durk's involvement in a death tied to targeted harassment. The government's filing explicitly urged the judge to disregard Durk's First Amendment defense, asserting that the stalking charge, combined with extensive digital evidence, provides a stronger basis for prosecution. This strategic maneuver has disrupted plans for Durk's release, particularly as his legal team prepared for a critical May 8th bond hearing in Los Angeles. At the bond hearing, Durk's team planned to present a formidable bail package, including $1 million in cash, $900,000 in real estate, $150,000 from an associate, 24/7 armed security, and electronic monitoring to demonstrate that Durk poses no flight risk. Legal analysts drew comparisons to Young Thug's successful release under similar circumstances, noting that Durk's package was exceptionally robust. Online legal commentators even predicted a high likelihood of release, citing the strength of the proposal and precedents in high-profile cases. However, the introduction of the stalking charge has cast a shadow over these prospects, raising doubts about the judge's willingness to grant bail in light of the expanded allegations. Drew remains resolute, rejecting any discussion of plea deals and framing the case as an all-or-nothing conspiracy matter with a potential life sentence. He argues that Durk did not participate in any conspiracy, making a trial before a jury of 12 the only viable path forward. This stance reflects Durk's belief in his innocence, but it also underscores the high stakes of the case. The prosecution's case is bolstered by an extensive trove of evidence, including over 230 gigabytes of digital material comprising audio, video recordings, and surveillance footage, alongside 20,000 pages of reports currently being processed for discovery. A key figure in this evidence is an informant known as F. Jam, who has provided critical testimony and materials to the feds. The feds allege that Durk orchestrated crimes against two individuals, Stefan Mack, implicated in the death of Durk's brother, and Jam's partner, who passed after Durk discovered Jam was cooperating with authorities. Jam's role came to light during an Instagram live session where Durk observed him holding his jacket and whispering, behavior suggestive of wearing a wire. This moment crystallized Durk's suspicions, which had been growing for months. Durk later revealed that he had taken steps to distance himself from Jam, limiting access to his home and personal life to protect his family. His distrust extended to his broader circle, as he admitted to barring even his best friend from his home, reflecting a heightened sense of caution in the face of potential betrayal. Durk's wariness was further evident in another Instagram live session where he gifted Jam $50,000, only to later identify others in the background as potential liabilities. The feds investigated these individuals, noting their close ties to Durk and King Von, particularly during a jewelry shopping outing that underscored their camaraderie. Additional evidence includes an Instagram story posted 30 minutes after Stefan Mack's passing, alongside another where Durk is seen laughing the following day. Prosecutors interpret these posts as incriminating, suggesting a callous disregard for the consequences of the alleged crimes. Drew, however, argues that these posts are being taken out of context, reflecting a broader misunderstanding of rap culture and its performative elements. The case draws significant parallels to other hip-hop prosecutions, most notably Young Thug's, where lyrics were used as evidence but did not lead to a broadly successful conviction. Drew contends that prosecutors often misinterpret rap lyrics, stripping them of their artistic and temporal context. He cites examples across genres, from country songs about heartbreak to R&B ballads with dark themes, where violent or controversial lyrics were not criminalized, highlighting a perceived bias against hip-hop. This cultural disconnect, he argues, has led to prosecutorial overreach, with Durk's case serving as a prime example of the misuse of artistic expression as evidence. Drew's team has consulted with cultural experts and music historians to bolster this argument, aiming to educate the court on the nuances of rap as a storytelling medium. The legal battle is further complicated by personal challenges. Just as Durk's release seemed within reach, his wife, India Royal, faced allegations of infidelity after being filmed at a party with her hand on another man's leg. The footage, shared by a friend, went viral, prompting reactions from figures like 6i multiplied by 9ine and DJ Academics. India dismissed the claims, questioning the credibility of online gossip and defending her character. Academics, while acknowledging her reputation as a loyal partner, speculated about the strain a potential life sentence could place on their relationship. He noted that, unlike other high-profile relationships in the rap world, India had avoided prior scandals, making the allegations particularly surprising. The public fallout has added emotional weight to Durk's legal struggles, with supporters rallying to defend India's loyalty while critics seize on the controversy to question Durk's personal life. The convergence of legal and personal crises has intensified scrutiny on Durk, positioning his case as a flashpoint in the broader debate over hip-hop's treatment in the legal system. The prosecution's reliance on Jam's testimony and voluminous digital evidence suggests a robust case, yet Drew's confidence in challenging the charges remains unshaken. He views the government's tactics as a desperate attempt to keep Durk incarcerated, regardless of the strength of his bail package. The stalking charge, in particular, has shifted the narrative, forcing the defense to adapt to a broader set of allegations without the lyric-based defense they had meticulously prepared. Drew's strategy hinges on dismantling the conspiracy narrative, leveraging cultural arguments, and emphasizing the lack of direct evidence tying Durk to the alleged crimes. As the May 8th bond hearing approaches, the outcome remains uncertain. The parallels to Young Thug's case offer hope, but the new charges and extensive evidence present significant hurdles. Drew's team has enlisted additional legal experts to analyze the digital evidence, aiming to identify inconsistencies or procedural errors that could weaken the prosecution's case. They are also preparing to call character witnesses from the music industry to attest to Durk's reputation as an artist and community figure, countering the prosecution's portrayal of him as a criminal mastermind. The interplay of cultural misunderstandings, digital evidence, and personal betrayals underscores the complexity of the case, positioning it as a pivotal moment in the ongoing debate over artistic freedom and prosecutorial discretion. The broader implications of Durk's case extend far beyond his individual fate. It raises critical questions about the fairness of targeting rap lyrics as evidence, particularly when other genres are spared similar scrutiny. Drew's assertion that prosecutors lack cultural context resonates with critics who argue that hip-hop is unfairly singled out, reflecting systemic biases in the legal system. As the trial looms, Durk's supporters, from fans to industry peers, rally behind him, echoing the sentiment that the charges misrepresent both his character and the genre he represents. Social media campaigns and public statements from fellow artists have amplified this message, framing Durk's case as a test of whether artistic expression can coexist with legal accountability.